Hello everyone and welcome to the first race of the pre-season in GT Sports. This is the Nations Cup, and as you can see by the left hand side, what a hell of a Nations Cup this is. This is actually the first round, so the 6 o'clock race, and the top split in that obviously by the names that you can see. And I'm currently on pole, hurrah, but we're actually going for a fast lap. I thought I'd show you this qualifying lap because I think this is particularly good. But Giorgio gets into the 48, unbelievable lap. But as you can see, we're going through the S's. We've had no real issues at this point. We've got Hirakram up front, who's going to let us go here, so well played, mate. Thank you very much for that. And we're 8 thousandths up on Giorgio at this point, at the end of the first sector, so we're purple, which is what we want to see. The purple colour indicates the time to the leader that we're up. Going through Tidgney 1, we just make a slight mistake, run a little bit wide, so compromise for Tidgney 2, but through we go, not too compromised. We leave there, we're up on our time, but we're not up on Giorgio's as we head towards the hairpin now. Hairpin is all about wheel spin on the exit. Don't get wheel spin and you will have a good lap time. We don't get wheel spin, so we power out of there, no problem at all. So 102 at that time reference point is a good lap. I know he's on for a good lap at the moment. As we head towards Spoon now, we've got to make sure we nail Spoon, especially the exit of Spoon, because wheel spin again, the car can slide. There's that much power going down on the rear. So through we go, slight little twitches, but all very good as we continue on now to our split. Are we up on Giorgio? Are we up on our own time? Let's find out as we get up there. We're currently beating the TRL guys 3rd and 4th as we head towards the 130R. We're up, we're 200ths up as we head towards the chicane now. As we come into the braking zone, we drop to 2nd gear, run slightly wide at the first part. Nailed the second part pretty much. Not a huge amount of wheel spin on exit. This is going to be a good lap as we go to the right hand side. What lap time are we going to get? Where are we going to come? It's a 148.731. We get pulled by 0.185, and if my webcam was on, my reaction was bonkers. I'm not even kidding. I was going nuts for like 5 minutes. But let's have a look at this grid. Let's show you some of the aliens that are in this lobby, because it's an unbelievable top split. It's not even the top 24s, but Giorgio in 2nd, he's quick. Thomas, he's quick in 3rd. In a Lexus. Then we've got Captain Ilroy there in 4th. We've got Twizzy in 5th in the NSX. Fotherras in 6th in the NSX. We're not fast Fotherras is. We've got McLaren there. Manu Rodri, TRL, 8th place. Afo, 9th. RC, what? Crazy. Hirakram, 10th place. Jamie in 11th for F4H. 12th, Zocchi. What is going on? Shows you the strength of this lobby really was up there, with the strongest lobbies I've ever been in. Even in terms of top 24s, this could be a top 24 race easily. I'd actually had 40 minutes practice for this one as well, like 20 minutes the day before, 20 minutes before this, so I'd actually got a bit of practice, unlike most of the other races I do. And there's the final place in there. So lots of points on offer with this strength of lobby, around 2.8, 2.9k I think it was. As we get underway, we get a bit of a nice little start there, because this rolling start just gave us a bit of a gap which we needed, because obviously there's just going to be slipstream galore here. Watch how fast these guys catch us up down this straight. Look at this, I'm just constantly looking behind me for Giorgio. As we get closer to these cones, I realise I've got the first position. Into here we go. Obviously this first lap is all about making sure we maintain our position, and then we can think about fuel saving, which we do have to do in this category. For some reason, Group 2 cars, you have to fuel save immensely in order to survive. I think I've already brought you one Group 2 race at Yamagiwa. I'm not 100% if I did put that on the channel or not, but if I did, you've seen it. If not, this is your first Group 2 race, and yeah, it's a good one and an interesting one, put it that way. As we continue on towards Tidgney 1, we get it right this time. Look how close we get to the tyres. If we did that in the qualifying lap, imagine what it could have been. 48.6, 48.5. Who knows? I know my qualifying time would have actually been pole in the American region as well. I've no idea what the Asia one was in terms of their top split. But I'd have been 3 tenths up on Snow and Doodle, which is some going because they're quick guys as well, of course. They both got 49 dead, so Giorgio would have been pole in there as well. So that was a bloody good lap by Giorgio. As you can see, we're pulling away a little bit from Thomas and Captain Ilroy and Twizzy and that group of cars. We're trying to push on here, get a gap, and then we can start thinking about battling with Giorgio, because he is going to come at me at some point. He's in that slipstream. As we leave Spoon there, he's going to start to gain on me a little bit. He's not gaining a lot, which suggested to me quite quickly that he was fuel saving, which is why I looked at my fuel map, because I realised I've got a lot of fuel saving to do. It's an odd number of laps 13, so it's 7 really that you've got to go to, and then obviously you have 6, so you can have a bit of a sprint finish. But we'll see what happens. I think being in first place, and speaking to some of the other guys now after this race and a few others, being in first place is actually a bit of a disadvantage, because you don't get any slipstream, so you can't fuel save that way, and the guy behind can just slipstream and fuel save at the same time and just jump you in the pits. So you know, it's a bit awkward. As you know, I hate this fuel saving malarkey. I think it's ruined the racing completely. I should be able to join this and go flat out from the very beginning. As you see, I'm up to fuel map 2 now, and that's all we're going to do now for the next few laps is fuel save. So after this section of corners, because I'll show you where I put it back to fuel map 1, I probably should have upped it a little bit. You know, this fuel saving is just, I hate it. Need to get rid of it. Need proper racing again. So we're going to merge the clips, go a few laps ahead towards lap number 5. There we go. As we come into Tidgney 1, we nail that perfectly. Excellent stuff. Into Tidgney 2. Through we go. We just run slightly wide here. Touch the gravel. So I'm going to let off here because Giorgio was by my side. I didn't really want to fight that too much. And I did want a little bit of slipstream here to try and help me fuel save, because I needed it badly at this point. Really needed it. You can see I'm just over a quarter. And we've got 2 laps to go yet. Just got a bit of wheel spin there, which cost me even more time. I needed that slipstream, and I've lost it a little bit here. Thomas is catching me up. Twizzy's catching me up. Not sure what's happened to Captain Elroy, but it felt a little bit like the Lexuses were struggling in terms of fuel versus the NSX. I could be wrong, but it did feel like the NSX had a little bit more in terms of fuel saving capabilities. I'm not sure whether it revs as high or what. Let me know in the comments below. Of course, I'm on holiday when this race is going out, so do let me... give me time to answer your comments once I get back. But I will answer all of them, as I always say, and always do. You see, we're on lap number 6, and I've only got 0.4 laps of fuel. So I'm coming in this lap irrespective. It does mean I'm going to have a hell of a lot of fuel saving to do in the second stint to try and survive here. So into the pits we go. And we'll fast forward this little bit again. As you see, the diamond is at the end. I have to go to the end, and I'm going to have to fuel save in this next stint as well. Really annoying. As you see, other guys are in as well, so it's not just me who struggled with the fuel saving. A lot of guys have struggled with it. See, Twizzy came in. Twizzy had 17, whereas I only had whatever it was. So Twizzy had done some good fuel saving there, and Twizzy just misses out. I have a funny feeling if he'd have got out ahead of me, he would have pushed on quite quickly, because I think I'm going to have to fuel save a lot more here. But he got a bit unlucky there. So I'm going to defend my position now, because of course I'm racing Twizzy. Through the S's we go, and into this left. Obviously Twizzy will like this a little bit because he can slipstream and save a bit of fuel, but I think he wanted to be ahead of me here, to be honest. Part of me was thinking, should I let him go? But nah, this is racing. As much as I'm friends with Twizzy, I want the highest position I possibly can. So I'm going to fight for that position, especially in this sort of race with all these aliens about. We keep pushing on all the same towards the hairpin. We're already catching up to some of the back of the field there. The fact Garassa's at the back was interesting, because he's a quick guy as well. So the fact he came 20th shows you the strength. I can't relay that enough in this lobby. The strength of the field was unbelievable. So we continue on towards Spoon. Twizzy's not really getting anywhere at the moment, so maybe the Lexus is a bit more powerful on the straight. I honestly don't know. I've not tested these cars. I know a couple of you have asked for me to test them, so I probably will, because I'm interested to know how I can fuel save better. And I did start getting imaginative with the fuel saving. So as you see, I go to the fuel map here, and I've got 6 laps to do after the end of this lap, and I'm on 5.6. So you see I go to fuel map 2 there, so I'm thinking, okay, let's do this during the straight when I'm at the top end of the revs. There's no point being on 1. I might as well be on 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You know, I can start playing with this and start trying to save fuel at the top end. That's where most of the fuel gets used, because, you know, higher RPM, higher fuel usage, you're getting more revolutions per minute. It's just obvious. But you see everyone's been in the pit, so Giorgio comes out ahead. We're still net second, basically, for Verratti to stay out another lap. How the hell he stayed out another lap, I do not know. But even so, we continue on. It was about the same gap we were to Giorgio when we went in the pit, so we've not really lost anything, except now we're fuel saving like crazy once again. So into the left, he doesn't have to fuel save as much, of course. He's got 1 less lap to do than his first stint, whereas we've got 1 more lap to do to our first stint. As we come through this left-hander now, so we've got 6 laps, well, 5.5 laps. We've only got 5 laps of fuel remaining, so we've had a lot of time later, and we've been fuel saving like crazy. As you see, we go to 2, and then go to 3. So as I say, I was playing with this. I was trying to get more and more fuel economy out of this car as we come into the chicane. So we've got 2 laps to go at the end of this, and we've got 1.6 laps of fuel. Oh no, what's going on? Oh god, I hate this fuel saving malarkey, it's horrible. So we continue on, and yeah, we know Twizzy's going to be on our tail, but he's not catching us a huge amount, which again indicates he's fuel saving as well as we head towards this first corner. But we left it a little bit too late. See, one thing that I forget with this fuel saving, and I forgot it there, and I know other people forget it as well, is that when you're fuel saving, you actually reduce your braking distance. So let me explain. It's like a bit like Project Cars, essentially. You've got an engine mapping. Your engine does some braking. If it's getting less fuel, it'll do less engine braking. So you do have to brake earlier, not later, even though you're going slower. It's a bit odd, that. So I made the mistake there, and I'm on a mega fuel saving lap now because I realise I've got a lot to save. I've got a huge amount of fuel to save here. So I know Afo's catching me at like the speed of sound here at the moment. And I know he's going to get me out this hairpin. I already know this, and I'm already willing to give this position up. I'm not going to fight it because I know the gap to then Thomas behind is enough that potentially I could survive and get 5th place. This is just basically a recovery sort of drive now. Get what I can get, and if I can get 5th, I'll be happy with that. Even in this lobby, that's over 2,000 points, so I'd be happy with that. So I let Afo go a little bit. I didn't fight him too much. He had to go on the inside, of course. I'm obviously just going to let him have it easy. But now I've got a bit of slipstream up here. I'm using fuel map 4 to survive here. We've got 1.4 laps to go, and we've got 1 lap of fuel. So up in fuel map 4. As you see, we're still getting in quite a lot of speed. Unlike a lot of cars, we'd struggle at this point, but we're still, you know, getting up there really. Up to fuel map 5 because we're getting close to the rev limits. And that saved us a lot of fuel there on that straight, a hell of a lot. So imagine if I was doing that earlier, where I'd just put it up to 5. I can imagine I would have saved a ton of fuel. So that's a nice strategy for the future. If you're watching this far into the video, you've just seen the trick there where I didn't lose a lot of fuel going up to fuel map 5 when I was getting close to the limiter. This is a nice trick. So we're going to go up to fuel map 3 because we've got 0.8 laps of fuel, and we've got 1 lap of Suzuka to do, and we've got Thomas, who's going to be bearing down on us very quickly because we need to learn how to fuel save in these cars, and I've given you a nice little trick there. So through the left-hander we go, and then the right. I mean, look how far behind Giorgio we are now, 10 seconds. It shows you the impact this fuel saving's had on us. We've really lost a lot of time. We had a mistake in there as well, but that mistake only cost us, what, 2-3 seconds? We've really lost out here. So fuel map 3 still, we've lost half a second to Thomas as we head towards Gr.2. Is he going to catch us? Are we going to make it, in fact? Because, you know, 0.5 laps of fuel, 0.6, 0.5, there we go, of fuel remaining. It's going to be tight, I can tell you that much. It's going to be bloody tight. So through here we go. No wheel spin, of course, because we're in fuel map 3. We don't have a lot of power. As we continue on, 2.7 now the gap, 2.6 the gap, 2.5. This is the impact of fuel map 3. 2.4. Look at the gap just coming down like no tomorrow. 2.3. Obviously it settles down a little bit in Spoon because there's not a lot of action here. We exit, still fuel map 3. 2.1 now, 2. Oh, it's getting close. I think we could just survive here. 0.3 laps of fuel as well. So I am at this point thinking, am I going to have to roll towards the line? But even so, we continue on. 0.2 laps of fuel remaining. Look at that, fuel map 6 to survive. I wish I did that earlier on because I think that would have saved my bacon a little bit in this race. Through this left-hander. And as we head towards the line, we've just done it. We've just survived. 5th position. Oh my word. That a bit unlucky, I think, because we need to learn the fuel savings in this car. But even so, it was a good race all the same, and the highest Lexus finisher, so I think the Lexus was struggling a little bit there. But I hope you enjoyed that video. Congratulations, top 3, so Giorgio, Twizzy and McLaren. Thanks very much for watching. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. Video plays there if you want to watch another one. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, so thanks for watching.